We're now joined by Adele LaTourette, Senior Director of Policy and Advocacy at Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Good to see you, Adele.
Good to see you, Steve.
Website's going to be up. We've been doing this series. You know, I can't believe we're calling it a series. We've done so many programs about food insecurity, about fighting hunger. The graphic will be up. But we can do programming, but the Community Food Bank of New Jersey fights it every day. Describe the work of the food bank, and also as people look on the website, they can find out more. Go ahead, Adele.
So the work of the food bank is really to supply our network of emergency food pantries across the state, but it's also to really focus on how we actually address hunger and food insecurity in the long term. So that's the work we're really starting to get down to. It's exciting work. It means really making sure that people have access to resources beyond emergency food, and that includes SNAP, and that includes WIC, and working on making sure that
acronyms for federal programs to help people as it relates to food insecurity issues.
That's exactly right. So SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps.
WIC is Women, Infant, and Children.
That's correct.
I just wanted to show that I knew that.
You did great.
All right, so you've got some federal programs, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. So what we're seeing actually is an increase in the number of people over the numbers that we saw during the pandemic that pantries are serving right now.
Why do you think?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, we all know the impact of inflation and what that's done to our budget. So think of yourself as someone who's really struggled during COVID, a frontline worker or someone who is totally out of work, and now you're trying to go back to work, and you're faced with these enormous expenses. So I think that's absolutely one of the things. The other thing is that the federal government really went into action during COVID and provided a fair amount of subsidies to people. And those subsidies are pretty much gone. So that's a real issue.
You know, Adele, I'm curious, is what you are referring to, is that what is called the, quote, benefits cliff?
Kind of. I mean, we had universal school meals, which are gone. We had pandemic EBT, which is basically a program specifically designed to help people who had not or were not able to access school meals. We had summer food universal service. Everybody got served summer food. So yeah, that is the benefits cliff that has gone into effect. We still do have SNAP maximization, but that will be coming to an end with the end of the federal health pandemic, what do they call it, legislation.
Yeah, the CARES Act, you mean?
Not the CARES Act, no. It's actually, sorry, the declaration, the federal health declaration. Once that expires, those maximization of benefits, of SNAP benefits, will expire as well.
But you know, as you talk about these different government programs, and then I think about the President Biden's conference on hunger and nutrition in America, saying that we will end hunger by 2030. Does that match up? You got certain programs sunsetting. You've got all kinds of limitations on who can get what. How is that supposed to happen in the next 7-8 years?
I think what the president is talking about is the fact that we saw the impact of what these subsidies and program additions did to the issue of hunger. It could have been so much worse without them. So I think it's really a call to action to make sure that these programs get reinstated, that we serve people universal meals in every school, regardless of income, that we make sure that people have access to summer food in a way that is convenient, that they can actually serve their kids, that they can feed their kids, that we have increased SNAP benefits. We've started on the road to that. Federally, we definitely have done that in New Jersey. Recently passed legislation, but I think it's really a call to action. And I think there's now a roadmap in place that we can follow step by step to really make that happen.
You know, it's one thing to talk about the government end of things, but I'm also curious about this, Adele. The role of corporate, the role of the media is obvious, is to continue to shine a light on the issue of food insecurity and hunger. That's what we need to do, we must do. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. That being said, the role of corporations, as well as the role of nonprofits. We just actually interviewed the former Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno, who heads up Mercy Center. Yes. They were talking about their relationship with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as well. They are fighting hunger in the Asbury Park area. The role of nonprofits first.
So the role of nonprofits, I mean, I think what we're seeing and what we saw during the pandemic as an extension of that as well is they're starting to focus more on those basic needs. They're kind of adding those additional services to the ones that they provide. So they're our network. I mean, they play a key role in addressing hunger and food insecurity. And in terms of corporations, I mean, I think we really have to let's look at how we can really address long-term economic security, focus on living wages, focus on the fact that if people made enough money, they wouldn't need emergency food, they wouldn't need SNAP benefits, they wouldn't need those things. So we have to really start looking at that and moving in the right direction.
Go back to the corporation issue, because my understanding is, and maybe this is or is not connected, I'm not sure. First, clarify this, food donations, are they down?
Food donations are down, yes, because the cost of food is so high. Absolutely, food donations are down. And that is having a real impact on the community food bank and also the network that serves.
And that's tied to inflation, obviously, food prices.
Yes, I talked to pantry.
I'm sorry, it's not that people, I'm sorry for interrupting, there's a little delay. It's not that people are less generous, it's that it's not as doable. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's exactly right. I talk to pantries every week, a small group of pantries, and I heard from one in a pretty wealthy part of the state, and she was saying that she has had in the past people who regularly go to the food store and pick stuff up for her food pantry at the same time, and that isn't happening because it's no longer a nice addition to their cart. It's a real cost to their pocketbook.
I asked you about corporations, the role of corporations in the effort to fight hunger.
Yeah, and we need corporate donations of food here at the food bank. We need corporations to step up, but it is a challenge. I mean, it really is. It's a cost issue, so it's a challenge.
Before I let you go, Adele, you got into this work. Why?
I got into this work with a sense of justice. And that was really what brought me into this work. And it's carried me through. I've been working in this work for over 40 years. So it's carried me through, and it keeps getting refreshed with the wonderful work that the food bank carries out and that we can carry out with our network.
One more quick one, sorry. The effort to donate excess of reusable bags, real quick.
Yes, so people can donate new or clean sanitized bag at cfbnj.org.
The website will be up right now. Say it again. What can they donate?
They can donate new or cleaned sanitized reusable bags. We have a pantry network that is in desperate need.
Adele, thank you. To you and Carlos and the team at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, we thank you not only for helping us create greater public awareness around issues of hunger and food insecurity, but more importantly, for the work you do every day. Thank you, Adele.
Thanks so much, Steve.
I'm Steve Adubato. That's Adele. We'll see you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, the New Jersey Education Association, PSE&G, Valley Bank, Summit Health, MD Advantage Insurance Company, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Northward Center, and by the Russell Berry Foundation. Promotional support provided by NJ.com and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
How do you create change? By cultivating hope. And we see that every day. In the eyes of our preschoolers, in the souls of the seniors in our Adult Day program, in the minds of the students at Robert Treat Academy, a national Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, in the passion of children in our Youth Leadership Development Program, in our commitment to connections at the Center for Autism, and in the heart of our community, the Northward Center, creating opportunities for equity, education, and growth.